Commence primary ignition.
Welcome to Unlimited Power. My name is D-Rod, and thank you for watching one of my pre-release guides for Star Wars Unlimited's new and fourth set, Jump to Lightspeed. Now, Jump to Lightspeed pre-release begins on March 7th, where you're going to be introduced to new cards with new mechanics, new leader actions, new abilities, and new tokens. You're also going to see the growth among factions in Star Wars, like Rebels, Resistance, First Order, and Imperial. If this is your first time watching one of my guides, I'll let you know that we're going to be looking at commons and uncommons within this set that can strengthen the synergy with the leader you choose to play. There are going to be some great rares and legendaries that fit really well with some of these leaders, but the chances of you pulling a rare or legendary that does that is going to be a lot slimmer than your chance of pulling a common or uncommon in your 6 booster packs that can really fill out your deck and the theme you're working for. With that said, let's begin to look at some of these leaders and see what kind of fun we can have on pre-release day. The Grand Admiral has returned to Star Wars Unlimited as a Vigilance leader, and his ability is something I'm very excited for. Now, when you use a When Defeated ability, you may exhaust Thrawn, and if you do, you can use that ability again. So you can get 2 essential death triggers. Now, as an epic action, you can deploy Thrawn when you have 6 or more resources. Thrawn is a 4/7 in the ground arena. He has the same ability, except it can only be used once each round. So this means you could have a turn where you trigger a death ability twice and then do another death ability twice. But you have to make sure your timing is well timed, right? So let's take a look at some cards that I think are going to work well with Thrawn in a limited set. The first one is just going to be a pilot with no When Defeated ability, but he's a 3 cost 2/3 with grit. You can play him as a ground unit, or you can use the piloting ability to play him as an upgrade to a vehicle. That vehicle now gains grit and has a +2/+3, which is going to be really important on some of the other cards you want to use. We'll see them in a minute. Director Krennic is a great card. He's a 2 cost ground unit. He's a 2/2 and he has shielded, so he comes into play with a shield, and the first unit you play with a When Defeated ability cost 1 less. So strangely enough, Krennic and Thrawn are working together. Spoilers, that doesn't happen a lot in their when they're run-ins, but they do have to get along, and so it's cool to see that they work together here. A card with an undefeated ability is this Onyx Squadron Brute, a 2 cost 2/3 that says when defeated, heal 2 damage from a base. When you're getting hit by aggressive players, putting the Squadron Brute early is super beneficial. If not, you want to kind of hold back and wait till you can actually heal 4 damage from your base, because if you play this with no damage, it's the first thing your opponent wants to kill. Now, we talked about some of these pilots, and putting the pilots on something with a win death trigger, I think is going to make sure that there's a lot of threat there that's going to force your opponents to kill it if you're giving something grit. Or you can also turn it around and take a card like this Academy Graduate that gives a unit's sentinel that it's piloting, and you can throw it on this landing shuttle. The landing shuttle is a 2/4 that says when defeated, you may draw a card. Force your opponent to swing into it by giving it sentinel, and you're going to be able to draw 2 cards. Card advantage is very important in any game, especially Star Wars Unlimited in a pre-release set. In the aggression aspect, look no further than this great 1-drop common, the First Order Stormtrooper, that says on attack and when defeated, you deal 1 indirect damage to a player. Indirect is a new mechanic in Jump to Lightspeed where the damage you are doing to the player, they get to choose where it goes, whether it is going to be on a unit or a base they control. It's only 1 damage, but Thrawn can up that to 2. It's a 2/1 Stormtrooper, so you may get a little bit of damage in there, but if it dies, you've gotten some value towards your opponent. A droid missile platform follows something similar. It's a 3 cost 4/2. Not a lot of health, but you want it to die, because when it dies, it deals 3 indirect damage to a player, so Thrawn can make that 6. If your opponent has no units in play, that's 6 damage to the base. For the command aspect, Apology Accepted gives you the option of defeating your own units, and if you do, give 2 experience tokens to a unit. Now, another unit you could play that will more than likely kill itself is the TIE Ambush Squadron. It's a 4-cost 2/3 with Ambush. So, with 3 health, it may survive, it may not, but when played and when defeated, it creates TIE Fighter tokens. TIE Fighters are 1/1 space units, so being able to make a few more with Thrawn's ability can ensure that you have a growing army and a threat on your board. You could also look at the 4-cost Kimogilla Heavy Fighter within Cunning. I really like this card because it has a win played effect, not a win defeated effect, that deals indirect damage to your opponent. But if they take any indirect damage on a unit, then the unit is going to be exhausted. So it can slow down your opponent's aggressive threats. It can, or at least make your opponent really consider what's the best move right now. For an on-death trigger, you have the Zygerian Star Hopper that costs 2, and when defeated, you deal 2 indirect damage to a player. As you can see, indirect damage can add up fast with Thrawn doubling it. The TIE Bomber loves to do indirect damage. It's a 0/4 for 2 that on attack deals 3 indirect damage. But this 4-cost Shuttle ST-149 does have a win played and win defeated ability that you would love to take advantage of. It's a 3/4 with shield that says you may take control of a token upgrade on a unit and attach it to a different eligible unit. So that can be the shields, that can be the +1/+1 counters that you're putting on there. You have ways of moving stuff around. Not only that, a token upgrade does not have to be on one of your units. It can be on one of your opponents, and you want to move that around. In the non-aspects one, we're going to recommend the attack run. Attacking with 2 space units for 1 cost is going to be great because a lot of your units, you want to move fast, you want to get that damage in, forcing your opponent to swing into them after you've already hit their base, getting more value. And the flanking Fang Fighter is also going to be a solid choice. It's a 3-cost space unit that is a 2/3. Now, if you control another fighter, it's going to gain raid 2, which allows it to hit for 4 rather than 2. Overall, Thrawn has a lot of options within Star Wars Unlimited, and within the set itself, you can really set up something fun if you get the right cards. I'm really excited to see Thrawn. I hope I get to see the right cards myself. Let me know in the comments below what you ended up pairing with Thrawn at your local pre-release or sealed event. Did you get a great rare or legendary that really complemented him? There's certainly some really cool ones with win defeated abilities within this set. And let me know. Good luck to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and may the Force be with you.